Hey, one of the worst parenting advice or hacks or tips that I have ever heard of is put your kids first. No, you don't. Nobody jumps out of bed, gets the breakfast ready for the kids, gets them ready, dressed, sorted, do the school run, whatever that is, and then come back and then start sorting yourself out. Nobody does that. Maybe some of you do, actually, coming to think of it. Some of you should probably do that. I remember seeing somebody in pajamas at a corner shop. And I remember thinking, it can't be that bad. It cannot be that bad. But anyway, so where am I going with this? If you want to be the best parent for yourself, whether it's two parents or one parent, you gotta make yourself first. You got to put yourself first. You've got to put yourself first. You have to think about your skill set. Skill set will keep you in the marketplace for a long time, for many years. You got to be developing your career. You cannot stay on the same level in your career. Start developing people skills. How to deal with difficult people. How to read people's energy and not pretend. How to stop hiding from life, right? All these things. How to have courage. How to speak up even if your voice is shaking. How to plan your priorities, how to make your life first before anybody else. Yes. And this I should say, for example, at work. The company you're working with may want certain people in certain roles and departments, but you cannot because you've got other responsibilities. In the short term, it doesn't mean it will always be like that. So how can you make sure that the time that you have at work, you bring in your A game, you're the best person, you're not distracted, you're not like absent-minded, oh, because I'm a parent. Because you see, sometimes we use that as an excuse, you're distracted, but why are you distracted, right? And I hope this doesn't sound a little bit harsh or too hard, but I'm trying to help you here. When you're at work, be fully present. Don't allow yourself to be distracted. You can't worry about the kids when they're already in school, they're being supported, they're being taken care of. When you are at work, be fully present. Show that you're a valuable member of the company. Yes. Do not allow this feeling of, I'll get away with it. And some people think they can get away with it, but it's when the company is doing cuts that they decide who is going first. And you as a parent, you already have multiple responsibilities. So you don't want to be the kind of parent who is like, she's going, definitely. You want to be an invaluable member of the team, whatever company you work for. You want to show that you really care about being here. If you're not happy in that career, start making plans, start building a part-time business. That's the best way to do it. It's like in a bad relationship. If you're not happy there, why are you staying any longer? Right? What are the benefits? What are the long-term consequences of staying in a bad relationship? We all know this. What are the long-term consequences of staying in a job that you don't like? For example, as if it's not even obvious, is long-term health issues. When you deal with stress all the time, unresolved stress, living in fear, not speaking up. I have a healthcare background many years, and so I don't say these things like just from nowhere. It's something that I have seen and observed. People who don't speak up in their career, you can retire older and still feeling like you can't speak up. That's not right. You have to be able to speak up. If that's not the environment, if the work environment is toxic, you're not happy there, and there's no room to speak up, you have to think, is this where I want to be? Is this where I want to stay, right? We always have to think, I'm bringing value to this company. Unless you don't feel like you're bringing value to the company, then you have to reassess, yes? Be honest with yourself. If you feel like you're not really contributing to this company, then reassess, yes? Because work takes up so much of our time. It has to be worth it. It really has to be worth it. I ain't doing it. I'm not doing it. It's like, am I growing as a person? Is this helping my career? It has to be more than just money. Think about it. It has to be more than just money. It has to be about your personal development. What are your opportunities going forward? If there are no opportunities, reconsider. Because some places, some people won't like you. So, it is not about putting your children first. It is you as a parent putting yourself first, thinking about your career, thinking about your health, that is when you can be a great parent for your children. Yes? And I've actually released a book. I'm going to put a link somewhere. How to start getting your life organized, especially maybe for those of you alone parents. How to start getting yourself organized, how to rearrange your priorities. Can I just say, take it from me, there are some things that are not that important right now. If you are a lone parent, your priorities now are your skill set, who you are as a person, exploring what you like, what you enjoy, yes? Your income, how much money can you now bring in? What skills can you learn now that will bring in more income? Even if you're over 40, even if you're over 50, you can still start over. It's never too late, yes? And more importantly, release the past, let it go. Don't focus too much on dead things. When you deal with dead things, it's not good for your health on a spiritual level. Another aspect to consider is your spiritual growth. You have to start seeing yourself how God sees you. If God forgives you, when will you forgive yourself? If God has forgiven you, when will you forgive yourself? You have to make that decision. All of us have to forgive ourselves for the dumb choices that we make, the bad decisions that we make. We learn from them, and then now we know there are certain decisions I'm not going to be making. I'm not going to allow people to rush me, right? So as a parent, your world, your life, your family is priority. But that is you at the very top. Having a relationship with God, asking God for wisdom, how to raise your kids, praying for your children. Did you know praying for your children helps you to not lose your sanity? There are parents who don't realize when you start praying for your children, God knows how to help your children when you're not there. You cannot watch your children all the time. You cannot keep an eye on them all the time. That doesn't even make sense. Yes? You cannot. And you cannot be like this overly obsessed. That is so stressful. But when you bring your children before God, you pray for them, you look at the promises God has made about your children. Because, listen to this, they're God's children. You are simply a guardian. Yes, you are simply a guardian. Your children belong to God first. And many parents don't realize this. It's a game changer. So if you're a lone parent and you're like, I need to get more organized, I need to know how to make my life work for me. Yes, you are in good company. I've got a workshop that I'm working towards, and I've actually got an ebook just to help you to look at some ideas, some topics that you can start exploring. And I want to make your life amazing. None of this comparing yourself with others. You cannot, as a parent, compare yourself with others. Nor can you allow other people to compare you with how they do life. You have the privilege and the opportunity to decide your life values, what matters to you right now. You cannot fit in with everybody else's world. Your priority is you and your children, especially for lone parents. If you don't live with your parents, like I said, with your children rather, bring your children before God. Ask God to give you wisdom, insights. How can you stay in touch with your children as best as you can? It is a waste of time to be wrangling with your ex. That's one of the enemy's tricks, to keep you distracted from what matters. That's the enemy's tricks of keeping you hurt. One of the most important things you can do as a lone parent to avoid staying in a toxic relationship with your ex is make a clean break. Take it from Coach Meg. Making a clean break will help you mentally. You do not want to be wrangling and all this toxic behavior. If you haven't got the right support, get in touch, find a lawyer, reach out, get some support. But a clean break is the best thing ever. You will feel like you're in control of your life and your purpose and your destiny. You don't have the voice of somebody who doesn't want to be in your life, still contributing to where you want to go in your life. Does that make sense? A clean break really matters. So generally for parents, put yourself first. You have to think about your career because one day your kids will leave home. You don't want to be stuck in your career because all you've been doing is the same, just surviving. You don't want to just be surviving. It will not work well for you when you are older. You need to be developing your skill set now. You need to be preparing for the times when you may not want to work as hard as you do now. So get in touch with me. I've got some coaching going, and see you on the next video.